Hey everybody! Sorry for the little bit of hoarseness in my throat. I'm still getting over being sick, but I'm a lot better. This week on Ducas and Esperanza's Adventures, we are going to work on a project that I have been wanting to get to for almost a year now. We've been in this apartment, the hidden bungalow, inside of our garage now for little over a year. And one thing that we never finished when we did this was this ceiling above me. And I'm gonna fix that right now. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the US and move to magical Loreto, Mexico, where we built our boutique resort Pufferfishvillas from the ground up and work running it and saving to expand in the future. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. So if you've been watching us for a while, you know that we built a apartment that we call the hidden bungalow inside of our garage. So I can just shoot out here so you can see this is our main window that goes out, and it is built right inside the garage door. I'll go out and show you this. So we are inside the garage in our building. So this setup has been really fantastic. It has been actually pretty energy efficient, seeing as some of the windows and doors we have in here are not the greatest, and we still only pay in the middle of the summer running AC 24/7, and it's 100 degrees out every single day and a low of like 85, and out in the garage here it'll be 120 up here inside the garage, and we still only pay about $30 a month for electricity to cool this entire inside space to a nice cool temperature. It also works in the winter. Most people don't have heat in the winter, but we went through a couple winters with no heat, and we did get a little cold at times. This never gets below about 68, 67 degrees, so don't even have to worry about heat. Heat's not a problem in here. But this has always bugged me. Now, Esperanza said she doesn't mind it. She's fine with leaving it this way, but I don't think so. I mean, this Q deck here, which is a metal tray that you pour the concrete in, because there's a concrete mezzanine on the top of here, does not look very nice. And so I am going to sheath this entire thing and put in a ceiling. And then we won't have can lights hanging down on chains, which is how they are now, because there's no other way to mount them. So I went to the hardware store this morning. I had to hook up my trailer here and actually give me a chance to clean it out, and bought 5 sheets of plywood. Now I'm only going to need 5 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood to do this ceiling. So a lot of people asked me when I got rid of our Toyota Tundra and got a 4Runner instead, what are you going to do when you go to the hardware store and you're trying to get plywood or big items like this? Well, the plan was always to use this trailer. I have used both setups throughout many times in my life. I've had trucks and I've had SUVs with trailers. And myself, I personally like the mix of an SUV and a trailer better than a truck. It's just more versatility in my opinion. So this trailer is 5 feet by 10 feet inside. That gives you tons of room to get plywood, anything else I want to get. And it just makes it easy. I can hook it up, bring it back. The other good thing is, then if I need to store the materials, I just leave them in the trailer. They're stored in the trailer until I need to use them. So it is a good setup for me, and I'm glad I switched back to a SUV and a trailer. All right, let's go get set up and see what we got to do to get started on this project. All right, so this ends up not being that difficult at all. So what I'm going to do is run plywood this direction. This is about 62 inches wide. Of course, this piece of plywood is 48 inches wide. So I'm going to need basically 4 pieces of plywood down this way. Well, 3 pieces of plywood and then a cut piece at the end. And then I'm going to use my 5th sheet that I have to cut strips out of. And those strips will go along the inside edge here against the wall. And so that way 5 sheets of plywood will cover this whole thing. Minimal cutting because the 3 of the sheets are going to be full sheets. First thing we're going to do, I got to pull down these shades here because they're going to hook back up to the top. Get all the junk off the top of this cabinet because I need it clear. And then I think we'll be ready to get started cutting. Making some progress here, getting the process down. Now, cutting it's been pretty straightforward. You can see I got 2 pieces in here along the edge. Cutting it's been pretty straightforward. Getting it up there has not been straightforward. And I knew it wouldn't be perfect. I'm looking around. I was going to show you what I'm doing. So I am trying to screw wood into heavy gauge metal tubing. And I went to the store and we had a couple types of self-drilling screws. I want self-drilling screws so I wouldn't have to drill every hole. This has ended up not working out because these self-drilling screws are too small and most of them, the tips break off before they get through the metal. I also got a bigger size, but this is the type that's got these tubs, and these don't work very good either on this metal. It's just too thick. So I've gone through a lot of different things trying to put these 2 strips up that I got up, and I found the best way with the least frustration is to pre-drill the holes with the drill bit and then put in these small screws. Now, these screws don't need to be this long, but this is the shortest ones I had. So I didn't have any choice to get any smaller ones. So I am going to keep going with this strategy. Now, I've already broke 3 drill bits, but I have a little bit thicker one in there. It seems to be holding. Drill bits, when they're this tiny, are very, very brittle and fragile, and they tend to break. Let me get it over here on the thing where you can see it. Yeah, they're very brittle and fragile when they're this small, and they tend to just snap off when you're drilling into thick metal. So, all right, I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll show you when I get the rest of the back strip up, and then we're going to be doing full sheets after that. And that's going to have its own problems of holding a full sheet up while I am trying to screw it up. I'll probably have to cut some braces to hold that up. But let's get to that when we get to it. Let's do the rest of the short pieces. And here I'll show you how I've been doing these little sheets. I've got a clamp, and I can get the clamp up there and clamp that end of the sheet up. And then I can come over to this side of the sheet and just take it up and put it into place. So, but I'm not sure if that's going to work with the full sheets. Well, I know it's not by myself. So probably going to have to make a brace for the clamp one side and then brace the other side. And maybe get another couple clamps. All right, get this whole back row up. And already looking good. I got to seal up the seams, but I've got some almond caulk to do that, and that should seal it up. This piece will be one piece that goes all the way here because it's that last piece. And so now we are looking at full sheets. starting down here and going that way. This is gonna be fun. I don't know if you can hear because of the wind, but I got that in there and cut it from the top so that it rips up all on the top where it doesn't make any difference, and you get a nice clean cut on the bottom. All right, this baby's ready to go in. Hello, Sugar. Look, I came to supervise Sugar. Yes. Yes, yeah. Yes. All right, back to work. This is the first attempt at a big sheet. I got the brace done, so now it's time to get started. So now we have this whole section up. Even got the light in it up here. So that's good. And it looks a lot better than Q-deck above me. I mean, that's like not as nice as some nice ceiling. So it's getting late. So I am going to wait on the rest of this until tomorrow. It actually went pretty smooth with the full sheet. I was very surprised. It was heavy, but the clamps and everything worked good. So I don't think I'm going to have much trouble getting I've got 2 more full sheets and then the sheet there in the end, which is only about 1/3 of a sheet. So that should be fine for me to put up by myself. I think this is going to go pretty smooth tomorrow when I finish this up. And super exciting, but tired today. I've done a lot and it's getting late, and I've been up since like 3:30 or 4 or something like that when I got up this morning. So I'm going to make myself some dinner and chill out, rest for tomorrow. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. I am back onto the project here to get this ceiling up, and I cut the next piece. I brought it in here, and then I made a big boo-boo. So I brought this in here. This joint right here was touching on this side and about 3/4 of an inch out on this side because nothing in here is square. So I knew that when I started putting sheets up here and trying to square everything up and line it up with this mezzanine, that I was going to run out of square. So I was going to take this and slice the edge off so that it would form a tight joint. And so I measured the 3/4 of an inch. I knew it was 3/4 of an inch too big on this side and touching on this side. And I went out and I cut another 3/4 of an inch off this side down to nothing on this side, which is the exact opposite what I should have done. I should have cut the 3/4 of an inch off of this side here and nothing off of this side. So now I have a gap that is 1.5 inches too big on this side, and I no longer have enough play to fix it, because if I cut 1.5 inches off of this, make it 1.5 inches shorter, it won't fall onto this cross beam anymore. So I could either abandon this sheet, but then I have to buy another sheet. I'm not going to do that. So I will make a trim piece. It will just run along over this joint here and cover it all up. And that shouldn't be too hard. This corner is not supported now, so I'm going to put some blocking up in there and screw that together to give it some strength. And then when I put the trim on the top of it on this side, that'll sandwich it together, and that joint should be pretty tight. So really kind of a bummer that I had to do this, but I'm not gonna waste a sheet of plywood. So we're just gonna do it this way, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna pretend that's how I wanted to do it in the first place, to put this awesome trim right here. All right, let's make this thing work. All right, I am finally done. The entire ceiling is put in. Turned out pretty good. I didn't like these trim strips, but it's so crooked up here. The roof that I had to attach this to was so out of square that there's no way I could do it without putting these trim strips in. Would have been way too much work to try to get these to fit, and they would never fit perfectly anyway. So this is good enough. A lot better than it was. A lot more finished and just cleaner look. So I'm super excited. Esperanza, I was going to keep this as a surprise for Esperanza, but I decided to tell her about it, and she's super excited about it too. So now I'm done, and I just have to clean up the mess. I got so much mess around here. Clean this all up, and that'll be another job in the books. All right, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed seeing another construction project. I haven't done one really in a while. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Always hit the like button if you liked the video. And never forget to live before you die.